One of the stupidest things I did early on in recovery was pretend like everything was fine. On the website, A Fair Recovery, you'll hear that we sometimes call that pretend normal. We're just pretending everything is normal. We're pretending everything is okay. And I want to tell you that as an unfaithful spouse, one of the worst things that you can do is just pretend that everything is okay. We, unfaithful spouses, have very little room, very little wiggle room, if you will, within our daily activities. What I mean by that is the slightest bit of appearance of disconnection or disrespect or aloofness is really blown up pretty significantly, because the expectation is that in the biggest crisis of our life, we, the unfaithful, should really be in tune with everything that is going on within the heart of our spouse. The problem is we're not perfect. The problem also is that there's life, there's kids, there's bills, there's other crises with cars, with work, with losing a job or trying to get a job, and financial hurdles and all these things that go on. So to expect us to be 100% attuned to what is going on with our spouse is unrealistic just because of life. Now, we can continue to get better at being attuned to what is going on, because one of the worst things that we can do, and one of the most problematic things that I did, was just kind of pretending like everything was okay. Swooping in to hug Samantha when things were really difficult, thinking that here I come, the great Savior, I'll just hug her and she'll feel great, when in many ways she was like, I don't even want to be touched by you. I don't want you to think that you can just approach me anytime you want. You've broken my heart. I have some form of dignity and respect left. When we just pretend that everything is okay, we trample upon the dignity and the self-respect that our spouse deserves. And so when we act like everything is great, when we just pretend like everything is normal, there's a few significant messages that I think we communicate to our spouse that are destructive. Number one is it makes us look incredibly selfish because we are not showing empathy, compassion, or respect for what's going on in our spouse. We look incredibly self-absorbed because we're just kind of going along. Everything is great. Everything is fine. What's wrong with you? Why are you in a bad mood? We're great. I'm home, right? The affair's over. Or I've decided to kind of be with you, so why could you be anything but incredibly ecstatic that I am home? And so we appear to be incredibly self-absorbed when we do not understand that there is so much unresolved within the heart of our spouse. Another thing that pretending everything is okay does is it communicates that we are completely unaware of the pain that our spouse is in. You see, if we are attuned, if we are aware of the pain that our spouse is in, we don't pretend like everything is normal. We're present, we're available, we're compassionate, we're even graciously timid, where I can remember so many times I would come downstairs and see Samantha, and she would be having her own little breakfast, and I would say, how are you? How did you sleep? Very, very graciously, right? It wasn't like rush and hug and, how are you? I'm so glad I'm home. No, no, no. Do you want to be stabbed with a fork? There's moments where I would say that, and she would kind of reveal, oh, I slept great. I had a good morning. How did you sleep? And so at that point I thought, okay, better morning. There was some mornings she would not look up from her plate and she would say, didn't sleep good. I knew at that point, probably need to make my smoothie and take my breakfast to go. Now that didn't mean that I just said, well, you're in a bad mood. That meant that I needed to key in and say, well, I'm sorry. If you have a busy day planned, I'm happy to help and do anything I can to make your day a little easier. And sometimes it would be, nope, I'm fine. And I would say, okay, well, I'm sorry you had a rough night or what have you. Let me know if I can do anything. I love you. and I'm sorry, and I'll see you later. And there would be no expectation for her to say, well, I love you too, right? That's somewhat ridiculous. It would just be a confidence to say, well, I'm going to be in tune with her or attuned to what she is feeling. You see, when we just pretend that everything's okay, we appear to be living in a dream world, and we are not apathetic, we're not compassionate, we are lost amongst the sea of indifference and self-absorption, and we cannot win that battle. Another significant pitfall that happens when we pretend like everything is okay is it creates this wall where our spouse doesn't feel like they can come to us when they're having a difficult moment. Like if they're having a significant amount of triggers and reminders, they don't feel like they can come to us because we're going to have the reaction that says, what are you thinking about that stuff for? Just stop thinking about it. Oh my gosh, get over it. It's been a month or 3 months or 6 months or it's been so long. Why are you worrying about that? And so they don't want to then come to us to connect with us in their pain. They want to pull back. And I promise you, as an unfaithful spouse, when they pull back, that is creating more and more distance because they don't feel safe to draw near to you with their pain, with their hurt, of which if they did feel safe enough to draw near to you and come close to you with their pain and their hurt, that would be an incredible moment for you to display compassion and empathy and respect and love, and you could unite with them and help diffuse so much pain. It would be a big moment for you, unfaithful spouse, but when you pretend like everything is okay, you cannot win. I promise you, you will not win. You look like a self-absorbed, narcissistic fool. I know those are fighting words. Those are aggressive words. I've been called those words. And sometimes those words were accurate. Sometimes those words were harsh. I just didn't know how to draw near and connect with Samantha. See, so many times we're afraid. We just want to pretend like everything's okay. We just don't want to connect with their sadness and their pain. We just want to roll through life because our shame and our self-hatred and our self-rejection and condemnation are working, so we would just rather just feel like everything's okay, everything's okay. If I just say everything's okay, it'll be okay, when in reality, you're 1,000 miles away from your spouse emotionally. One of the best things that you can do is man up or woman up with a confidence to be able to draw near to them and say, honey, I know this has to be hard for you. What are you feeling? What can I answer? What can I talk with you about? Can I just sit and listen to you? I'm sure you're frustrated. What can I hear you out on? What do you need from me today? Not in a, what do you need from me today? But honey, what do you need from me today? Like, it would make me very happy if I could maybe help you with some of your needs today. Or it would make me very happy if I could just help you today in some way. Now their response might be, oh, it'd make you happy. It's all about making you happy. You just want to be happy. Whoa, I know. That's going to happen. It will. The trick is to not quit. The trick is to not give up and to be able to say, well, maybe that does sound selfish, but I don't mean it that way. I just mean my heart is to be connected with you and to help you and to serve you today in any way that I possibly can.